Hello and thank you for tuning in to Guy Talk. All right, we're going to do a quick review on the BCS tiller two-wheel tractor coming up next.
All right, so here she is. This is the BCS 732 GX11. This is the second largest gas model that you can purchase. I believe they quit making the diesel. They might still have one model. You'll have to check. I know when I bought this a couple years ago that they were thinking about phasing the diesel out. But this has a very good Honda motor on it. Look at this, the Honda GX 340. All your controls, pull start, choke, gas cutoff, fuel tank right above. The best thing about this is basically, because it's basically self-propelled, I mean with the little lever, and it's got tons of low range torque, is that opposed to traditional like things that you might buy for specific use, let's say like a snowblower or a tiller or anything like that, this is going to be much more powerful a much more powerful power plant than any of those singularly. Plus you have endless amounts of attachments here on the front. So right here I currently have the 27-inch wide snowblower attachment on the front of that, and this is built very rugged. That everything on here is built to last. If you take care of these machines, they are 20-year machines, if not longer. My company that did my landscaping at the house, they had theirs, gosh, it was in commercial use, and I think he was on year 14 or 15 with the same one, and that's under a commercial environment. And it was still going strong. He had no issues with it other than swapping out a few parts on some of the attachments. You obviously want to stay up with your oil changes and your lubrication and your, you know, putting the grease down here on the PTO. All these little handles here, you look down there, this is how you adjust. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then your 2 neutrals. So when you fire it up, the best thing to do is have it into neutral, just in case you do flick off the handbrake and it doesn't take off on you. So that would definitely be, I've had it in reverse, because what happens is the handlebars are currently turned around. So these handlebars will swing 180. So basically where I'm standing now is where the handlebars would be if you're, say, using a tiller, right? Because the tiller is going to be a rear mount. So the tiller would be right there. This would be switched all the way around, and then the engine would be at the front when you're tilling. And so when you have the handlebars the other way is actually the correct way for these gears to work. So right now I'm actually going to be going forward, but it looks like it's in reverse. So I've had this, when I first started this season, I forgot I had that in forward, and then I hit the accelerator and it went backwards and almost smashed me into the wall of my shop. So, you know, obviously learning the machine is paramount, but other than that, here's your little rotating attachment here to make sure that your direction on your snowblower is in the correct way. That's all very smooth, very sturdy. Haven't had any problems with it other than initially mounting this. I would like to see a little bit better solution for that, but once you get it ratcheted down tight, it's all good. When you go to start, grip, and that little lever right there, little metal piece has got to be tucked up underneath there, and that way it stays. Both of these have to be compressed, otherwise it will not start. That's another thing I forgot when I hadn't used it in about 9 months, came back out here, and I did not compress the red handle. I just compressed the black handle and put that up there. And as a safety precaution, you know, that's the throttle. They want the throttle and the brake down at the exact same time in order to start that. Your adjustment here, this is engages your PTO. So whatever attachment you have on there, that's going to engage it. This is going to control, you know, how fast or slow you go. It also has a throttle here for speed, or you know, power if you have like a not a snowblower, but like a mulcher or something like that. And you know, as you can see, the tires are extraordinarily rugged. Have had no problems other than some very icy, snowy conditions where it was just, you know, nothing was getting grip. I have had run into that a couple times, but the weight of the machine is impressive. So generally speaking, in most terrains, that would not be an issue whatsoever. Oil right down here. You know, make sure obviously whenever you're doing anything especially after a season or after you got done doing a messy job. Just make sure that these wires are all okay, that they're staying in their little bracket here, and that none of them have gotten clipped, or that these little areas haven't come apart and popped off some way, shape, or form. So obviously, general maintenance, just make sure all that looks good. There are tons of different stuff for this. There's tow behind, little like dump trailers that can tow up to 800 pounds. So if you've got a property where you're taking wood or gravel, mulch from one area to another, you can just have that little tractor or trailer right behind it, and the trailers actually can come with little seats, so you can just sit up on the trailer and not even be walking behind it. You can just press the throttle and it'll drag you along. Like I said, there's a mulcher, there's a snow blade, snow blower, different kinds of tillers. Very versatile piece of equipment. I mean, there's no doubt. And it is more expensive than if you go to your local hardware store and get one of these pieces of equipment independently, like an independent snow blower, independent tiller. It is more expensive, but it's also, I have a Poolin Pro, and it's crap compared to this. I mean, it's absolute garbage, and I spent $600 on that. So this is a higher end model. This will run you, depending on where you get it, like $4,900, and then not including the attachments. That was with the tiller. That did come with the tiller, but then this attachment was separate. Here's where some of your other attachments, like that trailer I was telling you about, will hook up right here. Let's see. Other than that, obviously that's your PTO shaft. Make sure all your little wires and stuff down here, when you swing the handlebars around to face the other direction, that you're swinging them in the correct direction and none of those get snagged up, because that can be an issue if the dealer you bought it from didn't put it together properly so that all the wires are in their little special wire clamps and in the right positions. You can tangle that up. I haven't had a problem with that. My dealer did a good job. The motor, I fired it up after 9 months. I did have stable in it, but I mean, once I realized I was screwing up the throttle and handbrake system there, it fired right up, like second pull. So these Honda engines are about as good as they get for small motors like this, generators and all that stuff. They're top of the class. Over here is your exhaust, your fuel filter. It's rugged, built to last, and if you don't have the budget for a tractor, or you don't want a tractor because you don't have any jobs that are really big enough, this is a great, less expensive option, and you are not sacrificing quality. I mean, it is literally built like a little teeny tractor. It is built very, 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 very well. I believe these are still built in Italy. I'll have to double check that, but I believe they are still built in Italy and imported. And they're just fantastic. You find these all over Europe, where they're working with smaller landscapes. And, people might have a 3-acre little micro farm or a 2-acre micro farm, opposed to here in the U.S., a 100-acre farm out there that somebody's trying to work with, so they need a tractor. So these are awesome. I definitely recommend checking them out if you're, you kind of want to do it all system. Obviously a little more work than sitting up on a big tractor, but also you can get this in your garden. I know some of the tractors are pretty small these days, but still they don't have the turn radius of this. This turns on a dime, 180 degrees. So if you have a smaller garden area, or you don't want to smash your beds up like a normal tractor would do and turn everything into mush and mud, this is the way to go. All right, that's it on this, guys. I'm going to get to